along on a fruit salad. So this is targeted towards key stage 1 under 5s, really. Okay, so what we're going to do, okay, with this fruit salad, we're going to use 5 different fruits. Ideally, we want to try and use 5 different colours, because one of the things about eating different fruits and veggies is about eating a rainbow, because each different colour has got different vitamins and minerals in. So this will serve 1 to 2 people, depending on how big your appetite is, really. Okay, if you've got any questions, you can put them in the comments box, and I can answer them while I'm doing this. So some of the reasons why we're going to do this is because it's quite easy. We don't really need a sharp knife. Some of the fruits that we're going to use today, we could really use our hands or even just a spoon. Minimal equipment. We don't really need, okay, like lots of sort of balls, knives, forks, everything that we're going to sort of be using with bigger fruits. And if you have got a big fruit, like a pineapple or something like that, you can always cut it down and obviously save it in the fridge and have more portions at a later date. So some of the equipment that we've got, I'll just go through it very quickly. We've got a knife. We might not need it, but this is just a normal butter knife, okay? If obviously we've got a sharp knife, we might not be very good to use with young ones. So if you are going to use a sharp knife for bigger things like pineapple, melons and stuff, probably better to get an adult to cut those up first. Just a normal teaspoon. You can have a tablespoon if you wanted to. We've got a bowl. That's gonna we're not gonna be eating out of that bowl. That's just to put everything in. Okay. And also we've got a chopping board. I'll show you my chopping board. A nice green one. Okay. So we've got our equipment. And now we need the ingredients. So the ingredients are some strawberries, some great strawberries. We've got a satsuma, clementine, okay, tangerine. We've got a banana. We've got some grapes. We've got some red grapes here. We don't want to get green grapes because we've got a kiwi. So if you think about some of the colours that we've got green, we've got purple, orange, red, and yellow. So there's our rainbow colours, okay? So what we're going to do to start off with is do a couple of little safety points. If you've got long hair, you can tie it back. If you've got an apron, probably ideal to put that on, okay? Any jewellery off, rings, watches, stuff like that. Footwear, so if you've got trainers, make sure you tie them up. And also we're going to bring our sleeves up, okay? So the first thing we need to do is wash all of our fruit. So I've obviously already done that, okay? It's a bit of a time saver. So I've washed the strawberries and the grapes. We don't really need to wash the banana, the kiwi, and the clementine because we're going to be taking the skins off, okay? And the other thing is a little tip for you in the future. If you've got a container that, like for me, the strawberries come in this, okay, I'm going to use this as just our food waste bin, purely because it's going to keep the area that I'm working in quite tidy. And also, if I put it all in here, I'll go straight to the food bin and just tip it in, okay? So it's going to cut out a lot of the mess. So we're going to start off with the strawberries, okay? So they're already in my bowl. So I'm just going to move everything to the side and then we can start. So I'm going to bring my screen down so you can see the chopping board, and then you might see a dog's face in a minute as well because she's waiting there for the strawberries. So with the strawberries, okay, a portion is about a handful. So my hand, I'm going to put as many as I can in there to fill out a portion. So for me, probably about 4, okay? If you've got really small hands, it might only be 2. If you've got really big hands, it could even be 5 or 6. So for me, it's about 4, okay? So what I'm going to do with my strawberries is I could just cut my knife and cut strawberries with a knife, but I'm not going to do that to start with. I'm going to use my hands, okay? I'm going to use the palms of my hands. So what I'm going to do is very gently bring the green bits up, and I'm very gently just going to press on it. And all that's going to do is just loosen up the strawberry. Okay, so it becomes a little bit softer. Okay, and then my spoon, I'm going to hold it at one end. I'm just going to get my spoon and take the top off. And that's it. So we don't want that bit. So that bit can go into the container. Okay. So now I've got my strawberry, first strawberry. I can use the spoon again because it's soft already. I can put finger and thumb either side, and I can do a bridge. So I'm just going to put my spoon through it, and now I've got two halves of my strawberry. Remember, if you're a bit older, you could use a sharp knife, and we can do the bridge, and we could do claw. But because this recipe is targeted towards 5 and unders, we can't really hurt ourselves or cut ourselves with the spoons. This is going to be really, really good. So I'm just going to get those other strawberries out of the way. And my two halves, if I wanted to go one better, I could just break them up like that. So my strawberry goes into my bowl. So now I've got my red bit. So I want to just repeat the process with the other strawberries that I've got. So bring the green bit up, gently push down a bit too much on that one, and then just take the top off. Again, we don't want that. Okay, that can go in a food bin. So this one is called the bridge. Okay, we're just going to use our spoon, cut it in half, and it's done. Now we might not, because these strawberries are quite soft, we might not even need to push it down like that. So what we can just do is lift our green bit off. This one is called the claw. So we're going to hold it like that. So our thumb's going to go at the back, and we're going to secure it with our fingers here. And our spoon is just going to go in and take the top off. So that's a little bit harder because we haven't squashed it, okay? But whatever works. You're not going to cut yourself on a spoon. So if you want to use that without pushing it down, you can use that. And then I'm going to do the same. So we're only using soft fruit today because if we had anything harder like an apple, a spoon wouldn't go through it, okay? The probably most dangerous thing we're going to be using today is a knife. And that is not very sharp, okay? So that's our strawberry done. We've got our strawberry in here. So if I pour it into my hand, it's that portion, okay? So that's our red done. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to go on to difficulty-wise, we're going to do our kiwi. So the kiwi hasn't been washed. You can actually eat the skin of a kiwi, okay? It feels a bit better in your mouth than it does on your hand, or the furriness. We're going to use our knife for this. You probably, if it's soft enough, you probably could use your spoon, but I'm going to try and use different pieces of equipment. So we're going to do the claw again. So thumb going to go at the back, and fingers are going to go at the front, and that's going to be where we're going to cut. Okay. So we're going to very gently saw through the kiwi. And if we push down, okay, we can't hurt ourselves, okay, because there's none of our fingers are below. If we was holding it like that, we might hurt ourselves, but because they're all on top, we physically can't do that. So now we've got two halves. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go back to our spoon, and we're going to put it in our hand. Now that's about a portion for me, okay? That's probably a little bit more than a portion. So just to show you, I'm going to go and do two. So I'm going to cup it in my hand, okay? I'm going to use the spoon, and I'm going to very gently go around the outside. And what you can do, you can start to see a line that goes around. So all we're going to do is just, as we go around again, we're going to go a little bit deeper, a little bit harder. We're not going to push down like that into our hand. We're just going to gently just keep going around it, And then what we can start to do is just peel this skin off. So we don't really need lots and lots of sharp tools. If there is anything, we can just get a spoon in there. The only thing we don't want is obviously the top, because this top is quite hard, okay? So we want to try and keep as much kiwi on there as possible. Take all that off. And when we have got our top, we could even use our spoon, claw again. We might need to go a little bit further behind, and that's our top. So all of that stuff is going to go into our food bin, all right? And then you've got a choice. You can use your spoon or your knife. You can do the claw and go down. This is really, really soft inside. Or we can do the spoon. And we've got 4 bits of kiwi. So we're going to repeat the process, okay? So cup it in our hand, just go around. Just keep going round and round and round. See how that slips a little bit then, but because it's a spoon, I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm just very gently going round and round and round and pushing it a little bit deeper each time. And naturally, I can tear it off. So doing it this way, you're going to lose a little bit more kiwi than you'd like, but it's definitely worth having a little less kiwi and all your fingers. Done? Then we can do our claw again. So if you might need a tea towel. You can wipe your hands with your tea towel because obviously this is going to be very wet. And we're just going to, because it's a little bit slippery, I'm going to use my knife because my knife's going to be a little bit easier. I'm going to go just behind the front. And you've got in there. Okay. We'll do claw. Sorry, no, that was bridge. And then we do claw. And now we've got another 4 quarters. So they're going to be a little bit mushed up because we're not using a really sharp knife. But if we're young, if we're 5 and under, these are really good techniques to start with. Okay, as we get a bit older, then we can get a little bit more advanced. So we've got our kiwi and our strawberry. Next, we're going to do a clementine. Now, the clementine is going to be easy. So the clementine, easy one. Okay, we don't need any of these. We're just going to unpeel our clementine. Now, this is a really, really easy one. Okay, got our food bin. That's going to go in there. And we're just going to keep going round and round and round. Until all of our clementine peels off. So what we've got, all these different segments. For me, that's about a portion. Okay, this is quite a big clementine. So what we're going to do is break that off. Now all of this in the middle, all this pith, we don't really want that. Okay, so we can use our fingers and get all that out. We don't need to be cutting that or anything. Just keep going around. Any little bits that you might find, you can just get your fingernails, pull it all off, and it's done. Probably the easiest one of them all. Actually, yeah. So what we're going to do now, break the segments up. Now be careful, some of these might have pips in, so you might have to just have a little feel to see none of them got pips in. If they have, you might want to just squeeze them out. It's up to you. But that's it. So now we've got orange, red, and green. We'll save the banana till last. So we're going to do grapes now, okay? So with the grapes, got our food bin. We can remove our knife and spin off. We don't need them anymore. With our grapes, we don't really need to cut these in half or anything. We can just put them in whole. So we're going to do about a handful. For me, that's probably about 8. For you guys, it might be maybe 4 or 5. I'm going to put them all in, so we're having a lot of food waste. Anything that I don't eat tonight is going to go in the fridge, and I'm going to have it for breakfast tomorrow. Is that really little one on there? Don't waste it, put it in. So that can be broken up, and that can go into our food bin again. So our food bin's filling up. And also, if you look at the colours in there now, we've got lots of different colours, okay? Last one is our banana. Okay, really easy. If you have any struggle peeling it from there, if you go to the other end, okay, and just pinch it together, you should be able to get it a little bit easier. Because sometimes down this end it could be quite hard. It might mash the front of the banana up. You don't really want that. So all we're going to do is just get that into our food bin, and that's it. Our food bin is now complete, okay? So that's going to go straight into my compost heap. Food bin, straight in there, like that. So we've got a banana. We can keep the end bits. If you wanted to get rid of them, it's up to you. So all we're going to do is, I'd say, maybe we get our thumb and we look at where the knuckle is, and we just break them off. They don't all have to be perfect. We're just trying to do sizes that are all the same. If we do have one big one that's a bit too big, we can just break it off. Break it off. So that one's probably a little bit too big. And that's it. So now, if we look at all the different colours in there, we've got some of our yellow banana, we've got some purple grapes, we've got orange clementine, we've got some green kiwi, and at the bottom we've got some red strawberry. So we've got 5 colours in there, 5 different portions. So that is our 5 a day done, and that's taken just over 50, or even just under 15 minutes. Okay. If you wanted to sort of make it a little bit fancier, you could get some kebab sticks and you can put them on kebab sticks and lay them out, and maybe everyone have 2 kebab sticks or something. But really, really easy to do. If you've got small children, that's really going to be beneficial, because you don't, as I said, you don't need a sharp knife. You don't really need to cut that much. The kiwi is probably the most difficult one. Okay. And if you wanted to peel that beforehand and let the children cut up, you can do that. Okay. The strawberries, you didn't really need to crush them, but it just makes it a little bit softer for them. So that's it, done. So guys, thanks for tuning in. That's our fruit salad. Okay. If you have made the fruit salad and you want to send us some of the pictures on Twitter or Instagram, please feel free to send them along. Also, on our website, there's lots more recipes. So there's a fruit kebab recipe, there's a veggie kebab recipe, there's lots of stuff that we can do. And what we're trying to do is trying to get a lot more recipes for the younger children, so 5 and under. So if you have done it today, send it through. Thanks very much for tuning in, and speak to you soon. Bye.